Okay, after over a decade of stupid bullshit, The Walking Dead has finally concluded, the main show, and we got the finale last night. The finale to a show that I don't like at all. It's not just about the way it was produced with Frank Darabont. You can look that up. It's pretty disgusting. But aside from that, I don't think The Walking Dead is a good show. I've been keeping up with it over time, just out of curiosity, and I continue to watch it to see what I might find. Yeah, I thought maybe the finale might prove to be interesting, and it has proved to be interesting. It really has, and there's a few things to discuss. The main thing that got me is everybody questioned, who's gonna die in this finale? Who is not gonna make it? Who is going to die in this show that made such a big deal about main characters dying? I mean, who's it gonna be? Because nobody has died this season. I don't think anybody has died this season. Out of main characters. Maybe some villains, some side ones. Okay, I guess there was the building after Negan and Maggie came back. That one guy died. They assumed he'd die, and he was kind of a main character, I guess. But aside from him, if anybody cared about him, not much else. So yeah, the finale. You want to know who's gonna die? Well, right offhand, someone does die. Some woman. I don't know who she is. She could have been the love interest of the music guy. I'm not really sure. I don't know who that was, but she died, got pulled off and eaten, and in the process, the music guy, who was in fact one of the 5 survivors, with the ones that came in after Rick left. Most of them are much more important to the plot, like the couple, whatever their names are. One's a lawyer, and the siblings, but this guy's not that important. But yeah, he dies. He gets bit in the leg and dies in what is supposed to be a sad scene because they're all crying. But since this is the last episode, and since I don't see any of these people being in the spin-off shows, why pick him? I mean, why pick the guy who has not been in most of the season, who nobody cares about, really, instead of one of the others? Is it because you just want to kill the man? Because he's a man? I mean, I hope not, but that's a possibility. Maybe you don't want to get rid of any of the female characters, but they're not really that great. I mean, I don't find any of them that intriguing. The lawyer is kind of cool, but the rest are just forgettable, in my opinion. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, but just making somebody deaf is not, that's not development. So yeah, maybe they thought they were too neat to kill off. But yeah, so the guy gets killed. It means nothing. I don't even count him as a main character, maybe side at best. So who does die? Not the girl. She lives, obviously. Not anybody who you might call a main character because they got their spin-off shows. No, Rosita. Rosita dies in an asinine scene when she falls off a pole into a horde of zombies with the baby. And since they're not going to kill off a baby, it's obviously she's going to get out of it. And she does by swinging at the zombies, climbing up on top of this car, and jumping back in the window. But the thing is, they were right on top of her. Right on top of her. She swings something and gets away. When has that happened? When has anything like that happened in this fucking show? When can you do shit like that? The concept of being eaten alive is quite terrifying, and this scene single-handedly nullifies all that. It makes it into a joke. I can just escape by swinging at the zombies and run away. I'm on my back, but so what? Okay. That's real. That really is stupid. And she dies anyway from the bite, which I expected, because, I mean, somebody has to die in this fucking thing. And she lives throughout most of the episode, and I guess she was a main character that some people like. I didn't. I thought she was annoying, but that's it. That's as far as deaths go. I mean, I know since the other characters are getting spin-off shows, they can't die. I mean, the main ones. I mean, we got those coming, but you couldn't have picked one person that somebody kind of likes, who's been more relevant lately? I suppose not. Just, that's it. And that brings me to the next problem with this episode. most of it, not much happens. The beginning is exciting, like I said, zombies shooting, a few dead people, a lot of dead side people, but, I mean, you know, side people you don't know. But then, as soon as you get past that, and everybody regroups, I mean, the girl who got her arm cut off, Judith, right? The one with the whispers, she lives, obviously. The guy who was her boyfriend who disappeared, he lives too, they all live. But once they all regroup, they easily take down Pamela. They just team up, her guards join them, they hold her at gunpoint, they open the door, let the people in who she's leaving outside to die. They lock the zombies out just in time. The fact that they could climb and do shit affected very little about this plot. I don't even know why they did that. I could have thought of something else, but yeah, that's it. She put in jail, acts like she did nothing wrong, and they say she did, and that's it for her. Nothing else, just that's it. No satisfying conclusion. I mean, they want you to, like, feel bad for her or something? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I just wanted to see a very unlikable villain die, but no. Put in prison, maybe reflects on what she's done, who knows. It wasn't satisfying, and then they blow up half the city or something and kill the zombies. It's not even a conflict. There's no fucking conflict in the finale to The Walking Dead. I mean, most of the seasons had conflict with the villains at the end. This one doesn't. They just walk in and win. That's it. It's so fucking boring. It's like they spaced this out throughout, like, the last 8 episodes. I don't know. I mean, by the finale, there's nothing left to do. So once that's done, you just watch boring shit, which doesn't really do much good when the characters aren't that interesting. Because Walking Dead doesn't have interesting characters. I know people think it does, but they're not. I mean, how many times did Morgan go from being good to bad? I mean, first it was like a dad who was depressed because his wife is dead. You see him again, he's insane. I mean, he's not insane, he's all nice then, but you find out that he went insane and went about killing people. Then he came back and became nice. Then he becomes real violent later and kills anybody who isn't on their side. Then he becomes nice again and won't kill anybody. Yeah, won't kill anybody, going into the Fear of the Walking Dead spin-off show. You know, or obsessed with doing the right thing, you know, all that shit. What was it? Not what's easy, what's right, possibly. I mean, that's one of his sayings, that and all life is sacred. And then, now I can't stomach any more of that show, Fear of the Walking Dead, but I think he's more violent again. So, yeah, that's not development. That is changing the way a character thinks every single fucking season because you have to make them interesting somehow. That's a lot of Walking Dead characters. I mean, you think Carol is a badass? No! He just changed his personality a lot. Daryl is, same way he was in season 1 and 2, just not as mean. It's not development. They're not good characters, okay? So, basing most of the finale on an ending in which they just live happily, you cut ahead again, almost all alive, happy, Daryl goes out to find Rick, and that's it. That's literally it. There is one thing about Maggie not apologizing to Negan, and I mean not accepting Negan's apology, and I guess that's supposed to be meaningful, but, you know, they're getting one of the 3 spin-off shows, so I guess it'll make that more interesting, but I don't see it. I don't, that's not enough in and of itself, okay? That's not enough. So, The Walking Dead, the final episode, is not exciting. It has very little action in it. It's mostly just trying to be dramatic and meaningful and sad, but that fails. It's always failed. You would have thought, for a finale, an extra long one. Luckily, they don't keep doing that. They used to make episodes long a lot back then, but now they don't as much. But understandably, the finale would be long. But yeah, it has no reason to be. It has no fucking reason to be. And I think the reasoning for a lot of this is the spin-off shows. At least to a point. I mean, that's why we know Rick... I mean, not Rick, Daryl, Carol, Negan, Maggie. It's why we know they can't die. Not that I thought they would anyway. But, you know, Daryl gets a spin-off show with Carol. Negan and Maggie get one, and Rick and Michonne get one. They did appear at the end to, I don't know, he gets kidnapped by a helicopter, I guess. Not by a helicopter, you know, you know what happened, and I guess that'll lead to his spin-off show. It's kind of interesting, I suppose. I know he regrets leaving, but I think it's kind of funny in my opinion. The show was real bad then, but not quite as bad now, but definitely not good. And I think these shows are their concern. They want to make sure the ending leaves things open for that. I don't know if they're gonna ever meet them again, but I could see that having something to do with it. I just don't think they put much effort into this. They kind of just threw it together. I can't imagine this took much thought. I mean, when you think about it, it is just, they come in, they win easily, a few people die, not many, and it ends. Happily. With nothing of interest. So, yeah. I mean, I didn't expect anything good, but I thought maybe they'd put some thought, some effort, give us a memorable conclusion. I mean, some seasons did have that. Some did. Like the season when they finally beat Negan. That was at least somewhat memorable, unexpected. Kinda. But this isn't. This is the most boring conclusion to any season. It's, again, 24 episodes long, leading up to this fucking bullshit. If I was a fan, I'd be pissed off. I'm not a fan. I'm not surprised by this. I watched the show for a long time, just for, like, the, entertainment of watching it fail. You know, for some time it was failing. I guess it isn't now, but it was. And yeah, so many spin-off shows. 3 new ones, plus Fear the Walking Dead. Did that other show get canceled? World Beyond? I'm assuming it did. I don't know. I watched like one of those and I thought, okay, you're not interesting at all. And I'm not saying that for any kind of like sexist reason, just so you know. Now, it's a popular thing to say now, but no, that's not it. I don't care who leads the show if they're interesting. I didn't find them interesting, so I quit watching that show. But it does beg the question to why I started watching it, because nobody's interesting, and the ending proves it. It's the ending you expect The Walking Dead to have. Boring, nonsensical bullshit. Nobody of importance dying, except for maybe one, if you care. And the conclusion that is probably what you saw coming. I mean, I assumed it would end that way, but I thought something else would have led up to it. But it doesn't. No, The Walking Dead, I guess, ends the way it should. On disappointment, an idea that it's interesting enough to justify this shit, and ignoring the stuff that kinda made the show popular. That is, characters dying. I mean, it is a thing. It did get the show a lot of attention, but kind of absent in this season mostly, so. Yeah, I didn't like the finale, but why would I have? I mean, why would I like the finale? So yeah, The Walking Dead finale is not good, the show is not good, and I don't know what people are saying about it. I hope they're not promoting this as being something good, but maybe they are, because the fans tend to do that. But hopefully it gets the reputation it deserves as shit. And hopefully the new shows, all 3 of them, and the other one, is not, or are not, a success. Because they really don't deserve to be. They just don't. But that's just my opinion, and it's probably not yours. Maybe it is, but probably not. That being said, I am the analyst, and remember kids, changing personality over and over and over again is not development. So, you made it to the end, an impressive feat indeed. Since you managed that, consider checking out the gaming channel, in which I cover a variety of gaming topics, like in-depth gameplay, and analysis videos like this one. If you want to see that, then press the link in the description. It's that simple.